to see someone in charge here.
What is it?
It's a personal matter. It's quite urgent.
Perhaps Mr. Halliday can help you.
Who's he?
He's our controller. Your name, please?
Bigelow.
Mr. Bigelow to see you.
Send him in.
Go right in, please. That door.
Mr. Bigelow?
How are you, Mr. Halliday?
What can I do for you?
Well, Mr. Phillips phoned my office several times yesterday. I'd like to find out what it's all about.
You know Mr. Phillips died yesterday?
Yes, I know.
Well, I don't understand. If he phoned you, didn't he tell you what it was about?
Well, he didn't speak to me. I wasn't in my office at the time, and he wouldn't tell my secretary.
Well, I'm afraid I can't be of much help, Mr. Bigelow. I've no idea why Mr. Phillips tried to reach you. I'm sorry you had to make the trip for nothing.
How do you know I made a trip? I didn't say anything about making a trip. I merely said he phoned my office. My office could be here in Los Angeles.
Miss Foster,
Yes?
didn't you mention something yesterday about Mr. Phillips speaking with Mr. Bigelow in San Francisco?
I said that he had phoned Mr. Bigelow's office in Banning, but that Mr. Bigelow was staying at the St. Francis Hotel in San Francisco. I'm sorry you misunderstood me.
Do you know why Mr. Phillips called?
No, I don't.
All right, thank you, Miss Foster. You can understand that we've been somewhat upset around here. Now, if you don't mind,
Did Mr. Phillips have a wife, family, anyone who could help me?
you can't intrude on people at a time like this just to satisfy some curiosity.
It isn't just
I
curiosity.
suggest you wait a week.
I can't wait.
Sorry, you'll have.
Well, there's always a phone book.
You're a pretty aggressive fellow, Bigelow. Are you quite sure that this is as important as you make it appear to be?
It's important.
Mrs. Phillips lives at the Sunset Arms Apartments.
Thank you.
I needn't tell you she's under a strain.
Yeah, well, we're all having rough days, buddy.
I suppose you're capable of using a little more tact with her than you demonstrated with me.
I think I can handle it. By the way, what was the cause of Mr. Phillips' death?
Suicide. He leaped from the balcony of his apartment.
Thank you.
Come in, Mr. Bigelow.
I'm Stanley Phillips, Eugene's brother. Halliday phoned that you were coming. This is my sister-in-law, Mrs. Phillips.
I'll try to make this as brief as possible, Mrs. Phillips.
I'm afraid I can't be of any help to you, Mr. Bigelow. I haven't the slightest idea why my husband wanted to speak to you.
Well, I guess Halliday covered just about everything. Did your husband ever mention anything about me, Mrs. Phillips? Anything at all?
No, I can't recall Eugene ever having mentioned your name.
I hate to ask you this, Mrs. Phillips, but it's of vital importance to me. Do you know why your husband committed suicide?
You're certainly not the most diplomatic person in the world, are you, Bigelow? Were you a friend of my brother?
I never met him.
My brother was in a jam, a pretty bad jam. He was arrested 2 days ago. He sold some iridium to a dealer by the name of Majak. It's a very rare metal, very costly. Anyway, the iridium turned out to be stolen. He was released on bail yesterday, but he faced a pretty stiff prison term.
Men have committed suicide for less.
Yes, I know. That's how the police feel about it. What puzzles me, though, is this crooked deal. Knowing Eugene, you wouldn't say he's the type of man to be mixed up in anything like that, now would you?
I told you, I've never met him.
That's right, so you did. Now, what's this all got to do with you, Bigelow?
I don't know.
Let's come clean with each other, Bigelow. Surely you must have some idea why my brother was so desperate to contact you?
I have no idea.
That's odd. Then how could it be of such vital importance to you?
You seem to know the answer to everything else. Maybe you know the answer to that one, too.
There's a message here for you to call operator 82 at Banning.
Oh, thank you.
Show Mr. Bigelow to room 821.
Say, would you have the operator put this call through to my room right away? I'll just be there.
Hello, operator.
Here you are. I'll call you if I need anything.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, Paula?
Well, Sinbad, I'd just about given you up for lost. Do you mind telling me just why you rushed down to Los Angeles?
I can't explain it to you just now, Paula. I just can't explain it.
What's going on, Frank? You don't even sound like yourself.
Well, I'm just a little tired, Paula, that's all. But I miss you.
Oh, Frank. I can't tell you how good it is to hear you say that. And here I was worrying that I'd lost my charm. When are you coming home, Frank?
Soon, Paula. I'll be home soon.
I'll go right out and get myself a permanent so I'll be pretty when you see me. Hey, guess what? I found that Phillips name in your notarial ledger.
Notarial ledger?
Yes, of all places. I remember now I made the entry myself. You had notarized a paper one morning before I came to work.
What kind of paper was it?
A bill of sale for a George Reynolds made out to Eugene Phillips of Los Angeles. So you see, I was right. We hadn't done any business with Phillips, only indirectly.
What was the bill of sale for?
A shipment of iridium, whatever that is.
Iridium?
You mentioned at the time that this fellow Reynolds had made some kind of a deal in Palm Springs, and he stopped in your office early in the morning on his way north to have it notarized.
Wait a minute, George Reynolds, that was about 6 months ago, wasn't it?
That's right, 6 months ago.
Thanks, Paula. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Hello, operator. Get that number back for me.